जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ
Krishna Patra, Mucho Padilita, Chaturisuto, Sri Srila Abhayacharanavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Ananta Kopi Vaishnava, Namacharya Siladas Thakur, Prem Sagaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityanand Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Sri Sri Radha Natwar Ki, Gop Gopinath Ki, Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki, Rajbhumi Vrindam Dham Ki, Jaipur Nadi Dham Ki, Ram Sankirtan Ki, Glories to Samadhi, Hare Krishna Shigurun, go and go. Can you give me one of the book, please? Any book? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading one Krishna Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, translated and commented by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Chapter 9 and text 9. Nachamam tani karmani
Nachamani karmani
nibaghnanti dhananjaya
Nibaghnanti dhananjaya
dasimvad asina
Asina
asaktam tesu karmasu.
Asaktam tesu karmasu.
O Dhananjay, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Please repeat after me. O Dhananjay, all this work cannot bind me. I am never detached from all these material activities.
I am never detached from all these material activities.
I am ever detached from all these material activities.
I am ever detached from all these material activities.
Seated as though neutral.
Seated as though neutral.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurumilitamena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupkadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvisheshamyavadi Pachati Dishitari. So today's subject matter is obstacles in devotional service. So there are not 1, 3, 10, 100, 1,000, million obstacles, but unlimited obstacles in rendering transcendental devotional service. Maybe you can give me volume a little. Volume. No sound. Yeah. Sounds like that's okay. Thank you. I have to raise to your ears and then heart. So for that, this instrument is very necessary. So in this sloka also is stated obstacles to devotional service. Nachamam tani karmani lipanti. Sorry, it's a different one. Nachamam tani karmani nimagdanti jananjaya. To consider Krishna in such a way that we think that laws of karma acts on Krishna also. So that is an obstacle. Nacha mantani karmani nibaktanti sananjaya. So a king can do no wrong in his kingdom. That's the first law of any kingdom. A king cannot do anything wrong. So similarly, the whole creation, material and spiritual, is his kingdom, Krishna's kingdom. And to think that Krishna is under the laws is obstacles in the devotional service. So Srila Rupa Goswami, in his book, very basic book for all of us, Nectar of Instruction for his disciples to come, he is giving second verse immediately in the beginning of this book. He narrows the obstacles. Ati ahar prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangasya lolyamcha sarabhira bhakti vinashyati. Obstacles, 6 obstacles, very important, severe obstacles that destroy the creeper of our devotion. Atyahar, overeating and over collecting mundane material things which are not very helpful in Krishna consciousness. So, atyahar, overeating. We should yuktahar viharasya, yukta karmasya. So yukta, that we should eat yukta as much as necessary. So our Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all these exalted personalities, they eat very minimum, as much as to keep body and soul together. That's all. Raghunath Das Goswami, he would eat a little buttermilk a day, a very little quantity, and do his bhajan. Overeating means sleeping, and sleeping means no bhajan. It's the biggest obstacle in the devotional service. So, we should be careful for eating. And in this country, America, the food is so rich, very rich food. So we should have balanced food, whatever you call starch, carbohydrate, protein, minerals, and everything should be in balance. Not extreme protein. Meat industry is very prevalent here. And in vegetarian diet also, beans and so forth. So we should have a balanced diet and spread out our eating, not at one time eat up to the neck. That's not good. We should do it 3 times a day, little bit at a time. Then we can do bhajan properly. But if one eats to the full satisfaction up to the neck, then next consequences is sleeping. Sleeping means ignorance, means hindrance to devotional service. We should optimize our eating habits. And at the same time, not eating is also not good. For bhajan, we have to eat. And eating must be a very balanced diet. Nobody dies out of hunger. But overeating, many dies overeating. Just a little eating, you don't die. You remain healthy. The lesser you eat, the better it can be for bhajan. So atyahar destroys our devotion. If you are not healthy, also we cannot perform devotional service. We have to remain healthy also, healthy diet. Very important to have a healthy diet. And in proper time, proper proportion. Very important. So, yukta ahar viharasya. Yukta ahar. Sarira vidyajal. This body is ignorance. It is ignorance. Avidyajal. Jadendriya tahika. Jad indriya is like serpent. Jivapila vishayasagari. Tammadya jivayati. Out of all senses, the tongue is most voracious. Wants to eat salty, fatty, and so on and so forth. So we have to control our diet, atyahar. Yogi controls, bhakti yogi controls his diet. Not overeating, atyahar. Prayasascha, over-endeavoring for accumulating mundane material things which are not useful in Krishna consciousness. It's not conducive. So we have to have enough to keep our body and soul together, family together. Otherwise, lobha, greediness. And greed is deadly enemy. Kam, krodh, lobh. Lobh is our inner enemy. So, tyahar, over-collecting mundane material things. If you over-collect, then time will be gone. You will have to spend some time for protecting whatever you accumulated. So many people have problem maintaining what they have, and they spend their valuable time into maintaining their assets. So over-collecting destroys devotion. Prayas, endeavoring. Prayasam naiva kartavyam. Prahlad Maharaj, he is instructing his classmates that one should not over-endeavor for accumulating material things. Time will be wasted in accumulation and in protection. And anxieties. Somebody will steal it, somebody will snatch it, somebody will claim it, somebody will go against me and court and so much. So one should not over-collect mundane material things that destroys the devotion to Krishna. Atyaha prayasascha prajalpo, unnecessary talking like toad. talking like frog. In the monsoon season, frog is talking unnecessarily, drown, drown, drown. And the snake hears his tooting and comes and just grab him and swallow. It becomes the end of his life. Unnecessarily talking for mundane material things. The tongues will be used to glorify Krishna and his pure devotees and taste Krishna Prasad. But we use it otherwise, then it will destroy our devotion to Krishna. Newspaper talks, cricket talks, games talks, and all kind of Gramya Varta na karibe, Gramya Varta na sunibe yaar, balo na kaibe, balo na pehribe. Lord Chaitanya instructs Raghunath Das Goswami that Gramya Varta, you should not indulge in unnecessary mundane material talks. Gramya Varta na karibe, na sunibe. We should not hear unnecessary, useless talks. We should change our place or change the subject conversation altogether. Many techniques. So, unnecessary talking. Talk only about Krishna and his devotees. And that's it. That's what the tongue is meant for. Glorifying holy name. So this is how we destroy our devotion. Unnecessary talking about mundane material things destroys our devotion. Atyaha prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha. To follow the rules and regulations for the sake of following them and not for the sake of advancing in Krishna consciousness or pleasing Krishna and his devotees. That is unnecessary. Atyaha prajalpo niyamagraha. We should not adhere. Atyaha prayasasya prajalpo niyamagraha. We should not become very strict to those rules and regulations which are not conducive or help us to advance in Krishna consciousness. Those kind of rules and regulations we should avoid. There are two kinds of rules. One is important, chief, very, very strictly we should follow, and others, rules and regulations, we can will and deal with it a little. But those important rules and regulations, illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication, not stealing from the temple, not taking anything from temple, and not blaspheming devotees, not do present, many rules and regulations, subordinate. It is not main rules and regulations, but we should try to avoid as much as possible. But the main rules we should not dilute them. Instructs of a spiritual master, it becomes a rule for us. So following the food, following the rules and regulations for the sake of following them. Niyamagraha. Just like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, good example is that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was very, very tired one day and he was sleeping in a doorway which is this wide and which is 5 feet tall. Lord Chaitanya was 8 feet. So he was so tired that he slept on the doorway to Gambhira. Gambhira is a very small little room. maybe 3/4 of this room here, up to here. Very small room, Gambira. His Bhajan Kuti, Lord Chaitanya's dwelling place. He was staying in this room. And he was lying in the doorstep, in a doorway. So his servant, Govind, what was his name? Govind, no?
Yes.
Govinda. He jumped over Lord Chaitanya and went inside and served his lotus feet, massage his lotus feet. He used to massage every day. So for massaging, he crossed over Lord Chaitanya, which is sinful. But so what? I may go to the hell, but I should not leave my service to Lord. So he crossed over, and he did not come out after massaging Lord's lotus feet. So Lord Chaitanya see him inside. He said, "How did you come in?" He said, "I crossed over you, my dear Lord." He says that is very, it's sinful to cross living entity, any living entity, because spirit in there, and spirit you should not cross over. It is offense. So Lord Chaitanya said, "Then did you eat?" He said, "No, I did not eat." They said, "Why you didn't eat?" He said, "I can cross over for my service to you, but I cannot cross over again just to serve my belly. So that's why I didn't go out." So Niyamagraha, he left the Niyama. To cross over Lord Chaitanya is sinful. Any living entity, what to talk about Lord. But he did that. He broke the rule. But for his own belly, for himself, he didn't break the rule. So we should not very stingy about breaking rules and regulations when it is necessary to advance in spiritual life, to serve Lord and His devotees. We can break rules, but not so often, and not according to our speculation. We should do it according to Shastra, Sadhu and Guru. So rules and regulation, we can ban those we are subordinate rules. But the main rules we cannot ban. Illicit sex, we cannot ban that rule. Strictly we have to follow. Gambling, we cannot. Meat eating, we cannot. Illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. We cannot ban these rules. So following the rules and regulations for the sake of following them, it destroys our devotion. Atyaha prayasas prajalpo niyamagraha janasangasya. To indulge in associating with mundane materialistic people, it destroys our devotion. We should not associate with worldly minded people. Of course, if worldly minded people are in family, then you don't want to rock your boat also. You have to go along with your husband who is not accompanying you or who is not helping you to render devotional service. You have to keep that relationship, maybe neutral gear, but you have to. So we have to be very careful also there. Atyaha prayasastu prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangasya. We have to give up the company of non-devotees, but not like husband and wife and children and what is immediately. We cannot give up company. Just like those three sages, one was Tukaram. The Tukaram was having his wife very against Krishna consciousness, very against. And Tukaram was totally Krishna conscious. So one day he was coming with the sugar cane in his on his shoulder, a bundle of sugar cane, and he sees Krishna in everything. So he saw Krishna in every little boy and girl, children, and he distributed them all sugar cane. And his house was at the end, facing the street. And his wife saw him distributing the sugar cane. And at the end, only one left. So his wife, who catch hold of sugar cane and started beating up Tulakaram. You distribute all sugar cane, nothing for home, nothing, and blah blah. So he got beaten up by his wife. But he still go along with his wife. So not to rock boat at home, we have to go along with, we have to use our intelligence. Niyamagra Jana Sanghasya, we have to give up the company of non-devotees. And Jana Sanghasya, low greediness, intense greediness for mundane material things, we have to give up. What time am I supposed to stop?
12:30.
12:30, okay. So these are the obstacles, main chief obstacles. Then there are unlimited obstacles that described in our scriptures. The surrender process, anukulena sankalpa, pratikulena varjanam, raksayati te vishvaso, goprutve varnam tatha atmanikshep kalpani, salavida saranagati. We have to surrender to Krishna and Guru and Vaishnavas. But if you don't surrender, then our spiritual progress will be choked, jeopardized. So we have to accept Saranagati. So if we don't anukulena sankalpa, we have to accept everything that is conducive to Krishna consciousness, that can be used in Krishna consciousness. We have to accept and reject those things which is not useful in Krishna consciousness. That is Saranagati. Anukulena sankalpa, pratikulena varjanam, raksayati te vishvaso. That Krishna will protect me under all circumstances. That kind of firm faith should be there. If you don't have that kind of faith, then also the obstacle. We should have firm faith Krishna is going to protect me. That is his promise, Krishna's promise. Raksayati iti vishvaso. Krishna pratigyata govinda name bhakta pranasyati iti samsutya pranayam dharayamiham. So Krishna will protect me under all circumstances. If you don't have that faith, it is obstacle to Krishna consciousness. Krishna will protect. Krishna is my provider. He is providing to an ant and animals and birds and beasts. Why he will not provide to his devotees? He is not thankless. Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal. He is very affectionate towards his devotees. So not to have that firm faith that Krishna will provide me under all circumstances. That faith, if it is not there, it is obstacle. Raksayati te vishvatam, goprutu varnam, atmanikshepa kalpaniye. And we should have utmost humility, kalpaniya, utmost humility. That is, if you are stubborn, then it becomes obstacle against devotional service. We should be humble, meek and humble. And humility, we gave beautiful lecture this morning on humility. So, kalpani, humility, that is Saranagati. And we should avoid 10 offenses against holy name. They are obstacles to our devotional service to Krishna. 10 offenses. You all know, so I don't want to describe them in detail. But first and foremost, and last of all, many are important, but I say these two are most detrimental to devotional service obstacles. The first and foremost is to offend Vaishnava, to blaspheme Vaishnava, who has dedicated his life for propagating holy name. To offend such a Vaishnava is the biggest and topmost obstacles to our devotional service. Haristane aparade, tare harinam, tumastane aparade, nahi paritran. If you offend Krishna and you chant holy name in utmost humility, Krishna will forgive you. He will. But if you offend Vaishnava, Vaishnava may forgive you, but Krishna will not. He will never forgive you. Just like Amrish Maharaj is. Krishna never forget Durvasha Muni. He never forgive him. Go to my devotees. If he can forgive you, fine, otherwise you are doomed forever. So, if you offend devotee, to my knowledge, that is the only and greatest reason why one can fall down from devotional service. There is no other reason. You offend Krishna, Krishna will pick you up again. But if you offend, just like this little boy, I offend him, but his father is very affectionate to his boy, and I just, slap him or whatever, the boy will forgive and forget. He will not remember. But his father, mother especially, not father, mother will never. A cub and bear, if you come in between, not even offend, if you come in between both of them, you are finished. Bear will never see bear, will never forgive you. So like that, the first offense is biggest obstacle in devotional service. To be not kind enough to devotee and to offend to a devotee. You have to be, it's a very fragile relationship with devotees. It's very fragile. We have to be very careful with devotees. With Krishna, you can become rough. It's color, pillow. This is what you have. Sanatana Goswami, no salt, just eat, dai bhati, and that's it. No question of salt. And then Krishna said, "Can I make my own arrangement?" He says, "You are the supreme Godhead of whole world. You can do anything and everything. Please, go ahead." So you can chastise Krishna. But when it comes to devotees, one has to be very, very careful. It's a very delicate issue. Very delicate. That is the most severe reason for destroying our devotion. First of all. Last of us, to maintain material attachment. Even after hearing so many instructions on this matter, it is also an offense to be non-attentive and attentive to the chanting of the holy name. It is also an offense, added offense. So we have to become detached from this mundane material world. It is disgusting. It is not conducive to Krishna consciousness, to bhakti. We have to become day by day, as you're growing old and old, like my age, everything should be sunyaitam jagat sarvam. Everything should be zero, except Krishna and his devotees and his devotional service. Everything else should be zero. Sunyaitam. Mere to giradhar gopal, dusro na koi. Bhai chada, bandhu chada, chada saga soi. I left my relatives, husband, wife, husband and everything. I left material world behind. My dear Lord, you are the only one for me and nobody else. Sunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahina Me. So these are all obstacles to our devotion. There are unlimited obstacles, not just one or two. For somebody, wife may be an obstacle, husband may be an obstacle, maybe children may be an obstacle. Somebody have big fiat, billions of dollars, that can be obstacles. Somebody, woman can be obstacle. For somebody, man can be obstacle. So many. But chief obstacles are we already narrated. Chief obstacle for devotional service. So we have to abstain from scrutinize, nitidhyasana. We can self-examine ourselves. What are the obstacles for my devotion to Krishna and his devotees, to Guru? What are the obstacles? Every individual have different obstacles. It's not just one for everybody. Everybody have different situation. So we should scrutinize our obstacles to devotion. What are they? And then slowly and gradually, without rocking the boat, we should give it up. And at the end, it will be gone anyway if you want to get rid of them. At the end, it will be all sunyata. But sooner you do, better it is. So I'll stop here. We have little time for question and answer. Anybody has any question at all?
I have a comment.
Yes, comment.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. We came in a little late. We're coming out from Cincinnati. However, I loved your presentation of the Sanskrit. It wasn't like a cricket, because a lot of times devotees, splatter Sanskrit verses. I guess showing a lot of intelligence and very high philosophical knowledge of the scriptures. But you were very precise and clear on your Sanskrit explanation. I really appreciated that. The second thing was regarding association, and I find that I've been around ISKCON. I was initiated by Srila Prabhupada personally in ISKCON, and I was involved in opening up Central and South America with Hanuman Swami in 72. So I've been around ISKCON for some time, and I find that I'm not living in the temple or associated with the devotees, and much respect. As you were saying, being able to be free of attachments. And I remember when I became a brahmachari, I gave everything up.
Wonderful.
We all, and I see all the devotees here who are living in the temple, have given and dedicated their lives to Krishna consciousness. So much respect, Sankirtan, Krama, and his wife, and many of the devotees here in this community are just exemplary. However, there is some criticism sometimes from established ISKCON devotees towards me, and some of them have been very open about it, and do respect their perspectives. However, as far as I'm concerned, one should be more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant, the word of all first prestige, always very thorough with respect to all, and that's that one can chant Hare Krishna. But when it comes to offending my wife, then it's another issue, just like you mentioned, a mother and a child. So sometimes I don't want to rock the boat, as you said, but there is some annoyances. However, the nice thing about it is we can turn it over to Krishna, Radha and Krishna, Gauritai, and let them take care of it and continue my practice and having your association. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Wonderful. Any other question? Yes, Prabhu?
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for that nice lecture. I wanted to know how much is too much, how should we understand how much is too much endeavor for anything in the material life? Basically.
You have to draw your line. I draw my line below poverty level, and I was ever blissful. the lower the line of your standard of living, the better it will be for rendering service to Krishna. But you have to draw your own line. So, but the conclusion is the lower you draw, like Rup Sanatan, Raghunath, they had everything that you imagine opulence-wise. They were most opulent. Gold coins, board full gold coin. And they gave up 50%, 25% to family, and 25% for relieving themselves from the king, Hussein Shah. So the lower the poverty, lower towards poverty line, you draw your line of standard of living, the better it will be for rendering devotional service to Krishna. So you have to draw your own line. I can't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question? Yes, Mata?
Hare Krishna. I have a question that you told that if devotee do office to Krishna, Krishna forgive them by chanting nicely, sincere round. But if you do office to devotee, then Krishna don't forgive them. So Durvasha Muni did to Ambarish Maharaj, but then Krishna sent him back to Durvasha Muni. Then,
Back to Amarish Maharaj.
sorry, Ambarish Maharaj. Then Krishna forgive him?
No, the Amarish Maharaj forgave him.
Yeah, Ambarish Maharaj forgive.
But
After
Krishna
that,
never forgave him.
after that also Krishna.
Afterwards, also, because Amarish Maharaj forgave him, Krishna may forgive him, may not forgive him. But he sent him to his devotees. He didn't say, I can forgive you.
So, yeah, he sent to devotee
Yes,
and
yes.
devotee forgive
Forgive him,
After that Krishna forgive him?
may or may not.
It's up to Krishna.
It's up to Krishna.
It's so tough.
It's very severe. Krishna may not forgive you, even though devotee may forgive you. Just like you have a little child, you have a little boy or little child, whatever. So child may forgive me, and you may forgive, you may not forgive.
May remember.
It's in your heart, deep rooted, that he offended my little child. So you may forgive, you may not forgive, but child will forgive. So it is up to your level of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is the highest level of Krishna himself. But he may forgive you, he may not forgive you. That's up to him. And he can see their circumstances. In many cases, Duryodhana, Krishna didn't forgive Duryodhana. He never forgave him. Even though Kaurava and Pandavas at one point, they were so affectionate to Duryodhana. But Krishna never forgave him. Many cases like that. He may forgive, he may not forgive. Because devotees are very dear to him. Very dear to him. Child is very dear to mother more than herself. Isn't it? My mother, I know, I don't want to say, we don't have time, but she had 105-degree temperature. She was on a deathbed, and I broke my hand, and immediately she get up and took me to long distance to Baroda, many miles away, under such severe fever. So, mother affectionate to child, Krishna affectionate to his devotees. So, like mother may or may not forgive, Krishna may or may not forgive. But devotee will forgive. If he is pure devotee, he will forgive. He will forgive. Jesus Christ put his own devotee on cross. And he said, my dear Lord, they are very innocent. Please forgive them. They don't know what they are doing. Jesus Christ was so elevated, pure devotee of Lord. He forgave them. Krishna didn't forgive them. Like that. Any other quick question? We have a few minutes. Yes.
With your permission, can I make a quick comment? What you just said
Yes.
reminded me of something. So Srila Prabhupada, also her mother, while she was so unwell, was down with fever, and she knew Prabhupada liked kachoris, so she got up and she made kachoris for him, just like you spoke about your mother. So I think all mothers are alike, and Krishna is the Supreme Mother also.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Govinda pastime that you were mentioning. So we say prasad is also seva.
Yes.
Prasad seva.
Yes.
So there is service, personal service to Lord Chaitanya,
Yes.
and there is seva of prasad, honoring prasad is also
Yes.
seva. So both are equivalent in one
Yes.
sense, because both are seva to the Lord.
Yes.
So why did Govinda was distinguishing between one seva and the other seva?
Because the other seva was for his belly, for himself.
But it is seva to by honoring the prasad. It is
Yes, but it was for himself, and that was for Lord, the Lord crossing over Lord. So he gave it out one seva for other.
But-
He cannot do both at one time.
But in my mind, I'm thinking when we honor prasad, the Lord is also pleased. So it is indirectly it
Yeah,
is seva
but
to the
Lord
Lord.
is thinking, Lord Chaitanya is thinking that for his own seva for prasad, he didn't cross over. So he's, yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So I had a question about something that Mother Kalindi had a question. I'm trying to understand what is the understanding of what an offense is. Because there's that story by that Srila Rupa Goswami was laughing and then so this Brahmana got offended, and then so he didn't mean it, but is offense basically like if any Vaishnava gets offended, then that's an offense, or is it the intent behind when we're doing the actions?
No, like you said in Rupa Goswami's case, if Vaishnava unknowingly takes offense, even though it's not offense, unknowingly takes offense, it may turn into offense. Because Vaishnava dealing is very delicate, very delicate. Vaishnava's in feelings. If he not even offend and somebody have ill feelings towards another Vaishnava, that's also severe offense. So, Rupa Goswami case, you know the whole story anyway. So he called everybody for prasad, seva, and he didn't come, and then he called him and offered him prasad, and then he was relieved from that offense. So what that means is, even in a dream, you don't want to offend Vaishnava. That's what it means. It's very severe offense. Tumastani aparadhi tare harina. Sorry. Haristani aparadhi tare harina. Tumastani aparadhi nahi paritran. Offense towards Krishna, there is loophole. But to offenses against devotees, there is no any loopholes. You have to go to the root where the cut of the spike went into your body. From that same hole you have to take him out. So offense to the Vaishnava. So you have to go to that Vaishnava and you have to get rid of that offense. So thank you very much. The count is about to be blown. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की
जय,
वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की
जय,
गुरु गौरांग की
जय,
गौर प्रेमानंदी
हरि हरि बोल,
श्री राधा नटवर की
जय,
All glories to you.
महाराज
Praise
की
Kapil Maharaj ki
जय।